Hi, everybody. For our book talk this week, I want to talk to you about a book that I finished reading last week. And I really wanted to share it with you, but I was still kind of processing it in my own head. So I took some time and I thought about it some more, thinking I'd be ready to share it with you today. And I still don't think I am, but I have to share it with you because it's an amazing book. And you have to read it. If you like any kind of adventure or survival stories, this book is definitely for you. It's kind of a cross or a mix between like Hatchet and Castaway and Into the Wild, which is basically a survival story. You got a main character that has to survive in an unknown situation, usually out in the wilderness somewhere. And that's exactly what this story is, with the exception that as you're reading this book, you're going to be a little grossed out. I'll say that. If you have a weak stomach, do not read this while you are eating or after you just ate, because there are some passages in here that will make you want to lose the contents of your stomach. And I don't have a weak stomach. I think I'm pretty okay with gory kind of stuff, but the way that this author describes those scenes really made me question some things. But it's such a great survival story, and that's really not my genre. I usually don't read survival. Not that I don't like it, it's just not my go-to. So when I picked this up, I thought, we'll give it a shot. Some people liked it, some people didn't. Let's see where it goes. And it turns out that this book just kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time I was reading it. And from the very first line, the world is not tame. I just knew I was going to love this book, and I was not disappointed. The book is called Be Not Far From Me by Mindy McGinnis. And it's about a teenage girl. She's a senior in high school who goes to the woods or out in the woods with a bunch of friends, and they're drinking and having a good time. And she happens upon a situation which gets her in her semi-drunken state quite discombobulated. So she runs from the situation, and all of her friends think that she just ran home, and her father's not home. He's working extra hours or something. So no one really checks on her for a little while. But it turns out she didn't run home. She ran it further into the woods, fell and injured herself quite a bit. And now she needs to figure out how to survive in the woods with quite a big injury and no resources. She didn't even have shoes on. She doesn't have anything but the clothes on her back to help her figure her way out. She wandered so far away from the campsite, she can't even figure out which way she ran because she wasn't in her right mind to figure that out either. But luckily, our main character has some sort of experience with the woods. The woods is kind of like her second home, so she knows how to survive out there, but typically she would be able to do it with no issues if she had some resources at her disposal. And if she wasn't injured, it would be super easy for her to just get out of there. But because of the nature of her injury, she struggles to get out of these woods. And there are points in there that we as readers think she's not going to make it. There are points in the story where we as readers will consider whether or not we have a weak stomach, and we might not want to finish reading it because the details in this story get so graphic at times that you question whether you can keep reading what is happening to this girl. But it is such a good read, and you really want to know if this girl is going to make it. And you can't help but put yourself in her shoes. The way that McGinnis writes this, it makes you think you are Ashley and you are stuck in the woods trying to find your way out. Um, it's just truly a great read for anybody, but definitely a great read for those of you that like suspenseful adventure survival tales. So I highly suggest that this be your next read if you're looking for something like that. I couldn't put it down, and I don't think you will either. Okay, so place your holds today, and it can be yours next. Thanks.